And we're live. Hello everybody. Good evening and welcome. And yes, the chat is working, finally, for the first time. Stephen's here from Stronghold Games. Hi Stephen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I know you can't stay long because you've got a conflict to go to. That's what I got told. He's got a conflict, so I assume he was going out and fighting somebody. Don't fight, it's not very nice. Anyway, Lone Jedi is here as well. The chat is a little bit small, so I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger because I've just applied a new setting to see if the automatic thing works, and it did. There you go. Yes, Bonacor is in the house. So tonight, tutorial and playthrough of Fast Sloths, Friedemann Friese's latest crazy game, published by 2F Spieler in EU and Stronghold Games in America, which is why Stephen's joined us. David Digby is here as well. Thank you very much, David, for joining us this evening. So tonight I'm going to be doing a tutorial of the game. I've actually taught this game about 4 times. So I'm going to hopefully teach from memory, not from the rule book. But if anybody is watching in the chat who knows how to play, please let me know if I slip up. But hopefully I won't. Oh, and Stephen's off to see Star Wars. Right, okay. Yeah, so I've had so many excuses why people can't join in on the live chats this week. Most of the excuses are Star Wars related. Very disappointed. Anyway, enjoy the film, and thank you for popping in and saying hi. And obviously, thanks for your support. Right, that's the preliminaries out of the way. Apart from this is not a sponsored video. This is all done as part of my Patreon drive for this month. I've been doing lots and lots of live stream playthroughs because if you like the content that I make, please consider supporting me on Patreon. This is the last of 8 live playthroughs that I have done this week. It's been exhausting. We've done 4 today. So yeah, as I say, all done through the support of the Patreon campaign. And if you like what I do, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I've got a very interesting goal next time, which is to do old games. So games that are 20 years old. I want to start doing more video coverage of those. Anyway, right, I'm going to make the chat a little bit bigger because I still can't read it. It's still a little bit small for my eyes. There we go. Right, off we go then. I'm going to switch over to the overhead camera. If you're watching this on Facebook, please send us a message to make sure that that chat is working. But we have this all set up. I'm going to move the box out of the way.
Lone Jedi got his priorities right. Look, he went to Star Wars last night so he could watch this tonight.
Yeah, good planning. I will see it at some point, but I haven't been there hasn't been a time that I've been least excited about a Star Wars film than this one. So I will go and see it. I'm just not going to get my hopes up. Right, so this is... I mentioned it's Friedemann Friese's latest game. Friedemann Friese is a crazy genius who comes up with really strange ideas. This time he's done a pick up and deliver game, but you're the ones being picked up and delivered, right? We are each sloths. This is us. We'll start somewhere on the board in a minute. And our objective in the game is to travel around the board and collect all of our leaves. Now we're going to start with 1 of them on the board, on our player board. There are 9 of our leaves on the board, and once you've got 8 of them, that triggers the end of the game. We then finish that round, and whoever's got the most leaves left, the most leaves at the end will win. There is a tiebreak that I'll come on to later on. So that's what you're trying to be doing. But because you're sloths, you're lazy. You don't move around anywhere yourself. You do not want to walk around yourself. You have to get the help of the animals who will pick you up, drop you off, and along the way you will collect your leaves. That's a very rough overview of how the game plays. Now the game comes with 2 double-sided boards. We're using the suggested scenario from the start of it's mentioned in the rulebook. There are also on BGG other scenarios that you can download, which have got a map setup and animal setups, or you can play the game where you actually choose where everything starts. But of course, until you know how to play the game, that would be a bit tricky. We're also going to be playing today with 6 of the 12 animals, and at the end of the video I am going to go through the other 6 animals as well so that you can see that the game has quite a lot of variability with respect to the setup. Right, so how's it going to work? Once I've explained the rules, we're each going to choose a starting location, which will be one of these villages. Okay, so we're each going to start in a village. You probably want to start in a village... No, that's not true. It's in a tree. That's it. Sorry, it's in a tree. So you start on one of the spaces with a tree, which has one of your leaves on it. And so let's say I start here. I will get that leaf and I will put it on my board, and I will start there, and nobody else can start there. Okay, so we're each going to start on a unique space. We then take it in turns, And on your turn, you do 3 steps. And you can see that on your player board here. So step 1 is mandatory, step 2 is optional, and step 3 is mandatory. Right, so step 1 is drawing of cards. And just for the purposes of the teach, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a bit on the board. And I'm going to put my board here so you can kind of see it a bit more detail. So step 1 is drawing cards, and at the start of the game you will draw 3. Now what that means is you must take the top card of 3 different piles. You cannot take the same animal twice, and you can't take fewer than 3 cards. So you have to take 3 cards. Later on in the game, once you've collected your second leaf, you will pick up 3 cards, but then you will have to discard 1, which comes from your hand. So it could be one of the ones you've picked up that turn, or it could be one of the ones you've picked up on a previous turn. And a note about the cards, there is no discard pile. Whenever you discard a card, it goes face up on the bottom. So the cards are going to cycle.
Right.
Also, these cards are in numerical order. So this is the donkey, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. The other ones are different, but all of the cards in there are in numerical order. So basically, as the game goes on, and as you collect more and more leaves, you will be drawing fewer cards and you'll be having to discard cards. Right? That's step 1. Step 2 is where you play cards and move animals around and do stuff. I'll go into that in a bit more detail soon, but step 2 is where the majority of the game happens for you. Then step 3, you check your hand size. Your hand size will decrease as the game goes on. If you have more cards in hand than that, you discard them, they go to the bottom of the appropriate piles. Okay? All right so far?
Yep.
Right. Let's explain this bit. Step 2 is optional. You may play any number of cards of one type of animal. You then add up the numbers on all of the cards you've played, and that is how many movement points you have to move one of those animals on the board. Okay? So let's say, for example, I play... You can play as many cards as you want. There you go.
Which raises a question, actually. When you're drawing 3, is that drawing 3 from one pile?
I did say
Okay.
3 different piles. Very important. Right, so that is 8 movement points for 1 donkey. So I choose 1 donkey on the board, and there are, I believe, 3 donkeys. One's here, one's over there. All right, that's David. This is Diana. This is Derek. Okay? You choose one of them, and you can basically move it 8 spaces. Now, down the right-hand side of each card shows you the terrain types that that animal can move on. So the donkey can move on the villages, the forest, the hills and the grassland. Can't move onto water, can't cross bridges, can't go into mountains. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right, now, at some point during the move, you can get picked up by the animal that you're moving. Right, and I'm just going to check the rules on this to see if it's an adjacent space. I think let an animal carry you around. Once during the movement, the animal can pick you up on its space or an adjacent space. Yeah, I thought it was an adjacent space. So if I started here, where am I? Yeah, if I started here, right, then I could choose to move this donkey. I've got 8 movement points. But before it moves me, I get picked up. So you can get picked up from its space or an adjacent space. Picking you up is free, doesn't cost any movement points. And then it'll basically carry me around until it decides to stop early or use all of the movement points. Either will end the movement of the animal. And at the end of its movement, it drops you either on its space or on an adjacent space. And that dropping is free, doesn't cost any movement points. But once you've been dropped, you can't then move again. That animal can't then move again. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you move through a space with your leaf on it, you immediately get the leaf. So you can collect multiple leaves on your turn. So yeah, when it picks you up on a tree space or walks on a space with a tree while carrying you, you may collect your leaf on the go, even if the animal continues movement afterwards. Right, that's the basic rules of the game. And actually, that's also the rules for the donkey. The donkey has no special abilities at all. So what I've just explained to you is how the donkey works. I'm going to put the cards back on the donkey pile. There we go. But now it's time to explain the other animals. And again, there are 12 different animals with the game, and we're using these 6. So the next one I'm going to explain is the unicorn. There is only one unicorn on the board. Starts the game here in this particular scenario. And Ori's mentioned in the chat there are multiple scenarios on BGG if you don't want to randomize it yourself. So the unicorn is also relatively simple. You know, I mentioned that you can play any number of cards of one animal.
Yeah.
Not the unicorn. You can only play one card.
Right.
That's it. That's the only special rule for the unicorn, is you can only ever play one card. The terrain types are different and the numbers are generally higher. But other than that, they work in the same way as the donkey. And Matt's here as well. Thank you, Matt, for joining in. Right, the next easiest one to explain is the crocodile. First of all, you'll notice that there is a +1 next to the number here. That means you get an extra 1 movement point, not per card, in total. So you add up the numbers on all the cards you've played, add 1 to it, that's your movement points for the crocodile. And the only special rules about the crocodile is its restriction is it can only move on the terrain type shown on the card. It can also only move on water or a hex adjacent to water. Right? So that's the rules for the crocodile. Over to these ones over here, and the rulebook suggests that you lay out all 6 in a line, but we're splitting them up between the 2 sides of the board. So we have the elephants. Now the elephants are restricted to grassland or lakes. They can't even cross bridges because they're too heavy. Okay? But the dropping off, and there's a -1 next to the movement because elephants are big and slow. So you add up all of the movement points of the cards and -1. The other special rule of the elephants is the normal drop-off rule doesn't apply to the elephants. Instead, what they do is they throw you with their trunk up to 3 spaces away. So they can dump you on their own space or any space up to 3 away. If you fly over a space with a leaf on, you don't collect the leaf.
Right.
Because you're being thrown. Right. These last 2 are a little complicated, which is why I've left them till the end. Any questions so far?
No.
All fairly simple. Right. The eagle. And I'm going to say this probably 3 times, which is the normal number of times that I need to explain this before it sticks. If you choose to activate the eagle, you must play movement cards with a total movement value of 6 or more. But it doesn't matter how many movement you play, as long as it's 6 or more. The actual number is irrelevant.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
The eagle then flies from anywhere on the board to a space adjacent to you. So you call a cab, the eagle arrives.
Okay.
Yeah.
The eagle then moves up to 6 spaces.
Okay.
Again, irrespective of how many movement points you actually played.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 of them, calls the cab, the eagle arrives, and then it takes you somewhere. Now you'll notice here, water is not listed. It can fly over water, it just can't end its movement on water. Other than that, it can end on every terrain type.
Okay.
So that's the eagle. Unique unicorn, says Ori, yes. And finally, the ants. And the ants catch people out, because the ants change the rules in many, many different ways. First of all, you can split your movement points between the ants. Whereas in normal ones, you have to move one animal. Okay?
Okay.
The picking up and dropping off rules are removed from the ants. So all of that stuff I explained about how you get picked up and dropped off, they're gone for the ants. After you have spent as many of the movement points as you want in moving them, you may then do this second bit, which is a replacement for the picking up and dropping off. You get, for 1 movement point, you can be picked up from any ant from a space adjacent to it, carried along the chain, however long the chain is, and then dropped off at any point of the chain. And that's 1 movement point.
And still picked up or dropped off on an adjacent space.
So here's the example. Right, so I'm here, right, and I play ant cards worth 4 movement.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've got 4 movement points for ants. I go 1. No, hang on. Right, yeah, I've got 4 movement points for ants. I go 1, 2, right, I finish moving them. 3, 4. See, I told you. It's all right.
No.
How many gaps
That
can
makes
you
sense.
have?
There can be a gap of 1 because you get picked up from an adjacent space.
And dropped
Right.
off to an
I get picked
adjacent.
up from an adjacent space.
You
See?
can't now do that again. So if
Well,
you
no, because there's no. But if there was a gap of 2, I can't do it.
no.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
That'd
that
be
would be
1,
3.
Yeah.
2, 3. That would be 3 movement points. Every time you get
Yeah.
collected and dropped is 1 movement point.
Okay.
And only to put them back where they should be, which is there, there, and there. Right. Tie-break rules. Because this game was played once and all 4 people ended the game with all over their 8 leaves. So I will let you know what the tie-break rule is now.
So you trigger it when you.
When somebody's collected their 8th leaf, you finish that round.
Right.
Finish your turn. The other slots in clockwise order. Continue the round until all slots have played the same number of turns. The tiebreaker is the highest total sum of movement points in your hand.
Right.
That is the tiebreak. Okay, any questions?
Not yet.
Anybody in the chat got any questions? And yeah, let me know if you've played this, or you haven't played it, or you're interested in it, or what your
I
favourite
think it's a good question. Where
flavour
should I
of ice
start?
cream is. Yeah, feel free, if you're in the chat, just keep the chat active with chatting away. And we'll try and keep an eye on the comments.
So there are 9 leaves on the board
Yep.
each.
You can only collect 8 of them.
All right, so one of them will just
One of them will
stay
not
on
get
the board.
collected.
Right.
Yeah. We're all ready then? Right. So, closest one to monkey for start player. I think that's white. Yeah, that's definitely white. Right, so you're the start player, which means you will place on the board first.
I don't know. That was the question I wanted answering. Where should I start?
Where to start? Nobody's in the Facebook chat, so yeah, if you're watching this on Facebook, please pop a message in the chat just to let me know that it's working. And Matt wants to know what monkey's special rule is. Well, he doesn't have one, but the orangutans is one of the other. And they're nearly monkeys, aren't they?
Kind of seems like. I don't know. I've no idea where to start, so let's start up there.
I've just sent a message on the Facebook chat and it's appeared. There we go. So Ori's saying that the rules suggest you can collect all of them, but it's really hard. Yeah, that is true. You're going to start here, so you automatically get that leaf.
Yeah.
Okay. I might start somewhere like. Now, can the elephants go on? No, it's just grass
And water.
and water. I'm going to start down here. There we go.
I think possibly seems off. I'm going to start in the middle.
Well,
Okay.
I did think about that. That was my other
So you take that leaf?
option.
So take the leaf.
And now we are ready to start. So Tom, it's your turn first. Remember, it's 3 steps: drawing cards, playing cards, and then discarding down.
Okay.
It's not that I was thinking about starting in the middle. I was just thinking about starting near the unicorn because it seemed like it might be a
Yeah.
useful thing to
That
start
was-
near.
So you take
Isn't it?
3 different cards.
Okay, so I'll have a unicorn card, please.
That's a surprise.
And I'll have an ant. I guess I'll start going towards the eagle.
Now you can play cards if you want to, but you don't have to,
I don't see a reason not to play a unicorn.
because you can only ever play 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're playing unicorn valued 3. Again, that goes to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. So I get picked up by the unicorn. And it moves 3 spaces.
Yeah, I didn't mention you can move through other animals, but you cannot end the turn on the same. You can as a sloth, but other animals
other
can't
animals
share
can't.
spaces.
And then I get dropped off.
Unicorns can't go in trees.
They can't go
Yeah.
in trees. That's fine.
Okay.
And then I can get dropped off
There.
here.
Yeah. And you discard down to your hand limit, which is
Which
7,
is
so you're
fine.
fine. So my go. So I'm going to take an elephant. And I'm going
Start
to take a
using this
donkey.
thing.
And I'm going to take a crocodile. And then I'm not going to play any cards, and my go is done. Pull.
I'm going to take a donkey. Pass me an ant, please. And a crocodile. And I'm not going to play any cards.
Okay, back to you, Tom.
So I'll definitely take an ant and a eagle. Yeah, let's have a donkey as well, if I could, please. And
Are you playing anything? If you played an ant now, you could get picked up and dropped off.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I think I will do that.
Okay.
So
So you've got
And
2
then
movement
there.
points. But remember, you move all of the ants first.
yeah, so I
Did you want to move any ants?
yes, I will move this ant here,
Okay.
and then I will
And then
get
one.
on
Yeah.
and
dropped
off.
Okay, there you go. Now that change to your hand size applies immediately.
Yeah.
But you're done. Right, I'm going to take another elephant and another donkey and another crocodile. And I have 6 cards in hand. But I think that's probably enough for me to do what I want to do. So I'm going to play these 2 elephants together, which is 4 minus 1, so 3 movement points for elephants. So I get picked up. The elephant goes 1, 2, 3, and then it throws me, and I go 1, 2, 3, and I land there. And if you're ever putting multiple cards back under a deck, they have to go in numerical order. These 2 are
Okay.
both a 2, so it doesn't matter. But if they were different numbers, the lower number would have to go on top. The chat has gone very quiet. I don't know how many people are watching, but yeah, if you are in the chat, please please let me know
I'm
what
gonna take a donkey.
your favourite flavour of ice cream is. Is it monkey flavour?
I'm going to take a donkey. I'm going to take.
Or if you want to keep it on topic, let me know if you've heard about this game.
Ooh, that's not as good as I thought it was.
What have you picked up? Donkeys?
I've picked up a donkey. I'm going to take 2 more. I'll just have a bird. And a crocodile. And I'll be playing 2 donkeys.
If you play them, yeah, just sort of, yeah, that's fine. So you've got 5 movement. So picked up.
1, 2, 3.
Remember, if you go through the
4.
space, you can pick the leaf up. Yeah? So you get that on the way.
Yeah.
And then you can get dropped off. You cannot stay on the animal at the end of your turn. Okay? And then they go to the bottom of the deck with the 2 on top. There you go, done.
Okay, so I'm going
Black cherry is the best ice cream flavour. Yes.
And
Bill Grant is
ants.
here, and Bill says he's not heard of the game. Well, now you have.
And
Yeah.
a bird and a donkey, please. Could you pass me a donkey?
I'll pass you a donkey.
And I now have to discard something which doesn't have to be one of the ones I picked up.
Correct.
So I will discard that bird. And then I'm going to play 4 ants, which I think I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Right, well I'm going to take, so I'm drawing 3 cards and losing 1. So I'm going to take a crocodile. And I'm going to take a donkey. and I'm going to take an ant. Okay, but then I have to discard one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to discard a crocodile. There's another rule I haven't mentioned, and that's about bridges. So if something can move onto a bridge, but can't move onto water, it can only enter the bridge from the direction of the bridge. Yeah?
Yeah.
It cannot get onto the bridge from here to there.
Mhm.
So this is a bridge
Yes.
hex and it's a water hex. It makes sense thematically, but
Yeah.
it's something I
Yeah.
didn't mention. Right, I'm then going to play 2 crocodile cards, but because it's a crocodile I get +1, so I have 6 crocodile movements. Oh, hang on. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. 6 crocodile movements. 1, I get picked up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get dropped off. Okay, so they go there. My hand size is 7, and I only have 4 cards in hand, so I'm good. Oliver is here. Doesn't Kristen Bell love sloths? You should get her a copy. Okay. I don't know. Does she love sloths? Johan says he's heard of the game and the theme intrigued him.
Crocodile. Pass me an ant, please.
Kind of like Ticket to Ride. Is
I
it?
don't know.
Well, I guess we're picking up cards, but no, I don't think so.
The thing it was possibly reminding me of was the Quest for El Dorado.
Not played it. The Knizia game.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's not that similar, but that's the closest comparison I can think of currently.
Play 7 crocodile
Which
points.
is increased to 8.
Not that I want them, but I'm just, when I pick up cards, I'll have to chuck stuff away anyway, so I might as well play them all now.
Yep.
And
So
see
which
where-
crocodile do you want to move?
Well, it's going to be that one, I should
Okay.
imagine.
Seems logical, yeah.
Where am I going to go with it? I suppose I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't stay on it.
Where? You can.
No, I can't stay on the animal, so I
Yeah.
can't go
You-
6, 7. Oh, I can go 6, 7.
That is true. You can't end your turn on mountains and water.
Yeah.
That's
But
another thing I hadn't mentioned.
pick that leaf up
Yeah.
and I drop off. Where do I want to drop off? That's a good question, actually. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to drop off there, actually.
Okay. So these cards go onto the bottom of the deck. 2, 2, and 3. Discard down to 6. Okay.
Could I have a donkey, please?
The 5s come out. Kind of like Elfenland. Yeah, Elfenland's one of the games I played back in '98. Really good, from what I remember. But you're right, it is a little bit like Elfenland.
I should take
Take the birdie.
another bird. And I should take something else. Which is going to be an elephant. And I have to discard one, which is going to be a bird.
I didn't discard one last time. I assume I discarded one of those and I finished. Yeah.
Okay, right. Right.
Okay, so I'm
So
going
you're
to...
discarding one, or you have?
I have discarded one.
Okay.
I'm just counting. I'm playing donkeys. So how many are we? 1.
Yeah, the player board
3,
reminds you which
4,
terrain types the sloth
7.
can end on, which is there.
So
Why it's there, I'm not sure. But
I'm going to play 7 donkeys.
7 donkeys.
So 1 goes there.
Yeah,
Then I get on.
yeah. That's disappointing.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, okay.
I've collected that along
You've
the
not
way.
put it too far away, but far enough that I can't now get on it.
Yeah.
Grr.
So I'll put you back. Oh, and so I didn't. I could have only played 6 and finished there and still got off.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
2 and
those
a
are
4 on the bottom.
that way round.
There you go. My go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a donkey, and I'm going to take an ant, and I'm also going to take I'm not going to take an ant actually. I'm going to take an elephant. So I've taken a donkey, an elephant, and I'm also going to take
This is harder than it looks, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. Seems to have been a theme today.
Does a bit, yeah.
I'm going to take a bird. And then I'm actually going to throw away, I think, because I think I have a change of mind. No, I'm not going to take a bird. No, I'm going to take another ant. So they're the 3 that I've taken, but I'm actually going to throw away that elephant. And then I'm going to play Donkey-tastic. So I've got 12 donkey movement points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Picking that leaf up on the way. Thank you. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Nice.
So these go on the bottom of the deck in that order. And then I have to discard down to 6, but I only have 2. And why I took ants, I don't know, because I don't need them. I didn't think I was going to get that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, can ants go through forest? They can. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all right.
So,
Indy's here as well. Thank you for joining in today on the live streams.
I'm going to take a crocodile. And I'm going to take... And I'm going to take something else. I just don't know what. I feel like it probably needs to be an ant. Pass me another ant, please.
You don't have an ant.
So I'm going to be playing the crocodile.
We'll just play it here where people can see it.
So
you've
crocodile
got 4 movement points.
3. I'm going to stop there anyway, I think. 4.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I'm going to take an elephant and an ant. Oops. And I will have a crocodile, please. And then I will discard the donkey.
Oh, you're drawing 3 and discarding 1. Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm going to play the eagles.
Okay.
Oh,
And let's-
Oh, no, okay. What have you done?
So it works out the same. I drew 2 instead of 3 and discarded 1. Adds up to the same. Oh no, it doesn't, because I should have put 1 under.
Something should have.
It's all right. I'll keep an eye on you from now on. Go on.
So this moves to me,
Yep.
and then
Then you move 6.
moves 6.
But it could move to an adjacent space. Because you can.
Oh, I see. So it could have moved
It
to
could.
there,
Yeah, and then
and
pick
put
you
it
up,
up there,
and now you can move 6.
and now I can move 6.
Yeah.
So 1, 2.
Can't pick up while flying.
I can't pick up while flying. That's gone a bit wrong.
Yeah, apologies. I forgot to mention that.
That's okay.
I mentioned it with the elephants and then forgot to mention it with the eagles.
So hold on. So I was there. I might be able to actually Yeah, I can fix this with a crocodile. So I've got 5.
5.
1, 2, and it can't do the bridge.
It's water and a bridge.
Bagging.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
4.
4. You can
And
move another
then-
1 if you want.
I don't see that I mind either way.
Okay.
I don't think so.
You've got the leaf,
I've got the leaf,
and then you discard down.
and I'm under my hand limit anyway.
I take an
Put that at the
ant,
bottom of the crocodile pile.
and I'm also going to take. What am I going to take? Kind of need more ants. Let's take an elephant, and I'm drawing 2, and I'm not discarding anything. I am then going to play some ant movement, and I might be playing 11. I will see how I get on. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is nowhere near enough, is it? Okay, let's move that one back. So that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right, okay, so 11. What can I do with 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not enough, is it?
No.
9, 10, 11.
Okay.
That is rubbish. That is really rubbish. And then I have to discard down to 6, but I've only got 1 card in hand. Right, Paul, you're drawing 2 cards. No, you're drawing 3.
I'm drawing
You're
3,
drawing 3, discarding 1.
Yeah, I was looking. That's what I was.
Right.
Yeah.
And put your drawn cards here.
I really don't know what I want to do. Let's take one of them. Let's take a bird. And a heffalump.
Okay.
I can discard from my
You
hand.
can.
So I'm going to discard that one. So if you put that on the bottom of the bird pile,
Okay.
and then I've got to discard down to 6 because I've got 7.
no. Now you take your turn. They go in your hand.
Oh, okay.
Now you take your
Take
turn.
the turn
Step
first.
1, step 2, step 3.
Okay. So I'm going to play that.
Yep.
1,
Yeah.
2.
Okay. It's much better than my 11. Okay. And
Right.
now you discard down to 6. Okay.
So I'm drawing 2 cards. I think I will have a bird and possibly I kind of want another ant, but 2 is not a very big number. Yeah, still could be useful though. And I think I have done my maths right. So I'm going to play these elephants.
Yep.
So
that's
I've
5.
got
Minus 1 is 4.
4. So 1. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elephants can't move through forests.
That is an issue,
Rule
isn't
of
it?
elephants,
Yes,
17B.
I should have paid attention to that. In that case, it will be birds.
Call the taxi.
So
Eagle cabs.
comes to me, and it can go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
Drop you off. Get your relief.
Gets me relief. And
All done.
those will
You
go.
discard down to 5.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
So I draw 2 cards. I'll take that one and that one. I don't have to discard anything, and then I play the unicorn for 3. I go 1, 2, 3, pick up, drop off, get a leaf. Discard down to 5. Done.
There's a bit of a pain in it. So 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. So I'm drawing 2. So let's draw. Let's draw an ant. And a bird.
Okay.
Then I'm going to have to discard something.
Make it into your hand.
Yeah. But. So I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to be left with that. So, I'm playing that.
Yep.
4. 1, 2.
Yep. And then discard down.
And discard
to
down.
6.
And I think I'm going to discard that donkey.
Okay. Right. Tom.
Okay, I'm going to take a bird and an ant. Keep knocking these over. And I'm now going to play my elephants.
So you've got 4
Sure,
movement points.
So it's 1, 2,
Pick up.
get on, 3, 4, and throws me 3.
Yep, you can land on a bridge.
And I'm allowed to land
Yep.
on a bridge. And I have 5 cards, which is my hand limit.
Okay. I take elephant. I take unicorn. I then play unicorn. I get picked up. I then go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I get dropped off. And then I have to discard down to 5, but I'm alright. I've got 3.
I'm drawing 2. I wonder if I should do that rather than what I was going to do. So if I call a bird, I can then move 6 from there. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. So let's draw. Where's the elephant? I'm going to go over there, that's the trouble.
What time did we start this? 8 o'clock?
1.
We'll be done by 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it an hour and a half, but it is a quick game, especially with 3 people. Does it go up to 5? Yeah, it goes up to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't quite get me there, but it'll get me far enough, I think. Alright, so let's draw an elephant.
That's the 5.
And unicorn, I think. Then I'm going to play 2 birds.
So the eagle comes to you,
Yeah.
wherever you are.
There,
Well, it can go on an adjacent space if you want it.
there,
Can't land on water.
there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And
discard
I've got
down
to
to
go
6.
down to 6, which is where I am.
So I'm going to take.
Oh, I'm going to
Oh, yeah,
turn
you're going
first,
to
if
do
that's
it,
right. Which will be a bird and an ant. And I'm going to use birds to pick
Call the bird
me
over to wherever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to take me to here.
Okay. you have to discard down to 5.
which is what I've got.
So
Yeah, so I'm going to start having
I'm going to take a
considerably
unicorn,
fewer cards.
and I'm going to take a.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky as of next turn. I'm going to take a donkey. Okay, and then I'm going to play all of these elephants, which is 11, but then minus 1 because it's a big fat elephant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw it into there.
Nice.
And why didn't I take another elephant again? Because I'm a bit stupid. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind on that if that's alright.
Yeah.
Just do that instead. Right. There you go there. I discard down to 5. I'm on 2. Right, Paul.
What do I want to draw? Let's take an ant and crocodile.
Okay.
Then let's play let's play those 2. 1, 2, 3.
That was 4.
Was it?
You went from there to there.
Where was it?
It was here.
1, 2,
2,
3,
4.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. So you don't need that one.
I might as well play it.
Okay.
Save me throwing stuff away.
Okay. Right. I had a plan for that ant. Might still be okay. 2, 3, 4. Which actually is still okay. So I want
Broody.
bird, and I'm drawing 2 and discarding 1.
Yeah, draw 2, discard 1. It's hard.
So
But you do have a handful of cards.
yes.
So you've got the advantage over me.
So I assume I'm safe because I've just drawn a 5. Let's do that. So let's work out how many. I'm playing ants. I'm just going to count how many I actually need. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8, 9, 10, 11.
You got 11?
Yep, that is 11.
8, 9, 10, 11. And the penultimate leaf.
Yep.
Okay. I'll take an elephant.
Yeah.
And a donkey. But then I have to throw something away, which will be another donkey. I'll then play those 2 elephants for 3 movement points and get picked up. I go 1, 2, 3, and then I get thrown 1, 2, 3 and land on the bridge.
Yep.
So that donkey can't pick me up from there.
No. The elephants couldn't.
Yes,
Or
because
can it? No, I don't think it can.
because
I'll
the
say that we
bridge
can't.
goes the wrong
Yeah,
way.
because I can't move on water. I can only move on bridges. So I think
Right.
that's right. Anybody who's watching in the chat who knows the game better than me,
Take an ant.
can the donkey pick
Yeah.
me up from there? I don't think it can. I'll check.
And an elephant. Then I'll play some elephants. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3.
That's you done.
Right, the rules say if an animal only crosses the river on the bridges, well, the donkey doesn't cross
Donkey.
at all.
Yeah.
It can only pick you up from the bridge or the 2 directly adjacent land spaces. It can only, if an animal only crosses the river on bridges, it can only pick you up from there, from the bridge or the 2 directly adjacent land spaces.
So would that imply that the donkey can't pick you up from the bridge at
It
all?
is weird. It says the adjacent space that an animal picks you up from can be a landscape type that the animal doesn't normally move through. Okay.
Okay.
But then it says picking you up is free, doesn't cost any movement points. If an animal only crosses the river on the bridges, it can only pick you up from there. It can only pick you up there from the bridge or the 2 directly adjacent land spaces. Not completely clear. I'm not.
No. It would
Not
seem.
means
too
what
sure
you
about
said,
that.
surely, earlier.
Yeah. Presumably, if.
Yeah, but the donkey doesn't move on bridges.
Yeah. It would seem odd if something that moves on
Yeah.
water could.
We'll
Can't
say
do
that
it,
it
but
can't.
The
We'll say
donkey
that it
can.
can't. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm drawing 2 cards and discarding
Matt's been
one.
trying to work out how to get a copy of this game to Kristen Bell. No luck yet. Keep trying, Matt. Keep trying. It's all on you.
I would like a unicorn, please.
Would you now?
And then I want something else that I'm going to immediately discard, which I think is going to be a bird.
Okay.
Then I am going to play birds.
Mm-hmm.
So the bird will come to me
Yep.
and take me to that corner,
Triggers the end of the game.
which triggers the end of the game.
I can't get 2 leaves on my turn.
No, nor can I. I mean, I can get one very easily, but
I can get 1.
I was drawing the highest card
Yeah.
in order to have the tie break, but it
Yeah.
didn't.
So the best I can do
no, you can get one. I can only get one, so I'll be one behind anyway.
is to take a donkey and doesn't matter, an ant, get rid of the ant, and then play the donkeys for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother if I mean, I won't even bother drawing anything, it's irrelevant. I'll play that. No, I won't actually. I'll draw a donkey and play it.
Draw a donkey, play it, done. There you go. Right, so Tom wins with 8. I got 7, Paul got 6. That is Fast Sloths in, 54 minutes, I think. But that's including the teach. So yeah, this is a 45-minute game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played this 3 or 4 times now. I've always played the basic setup.
Right.
What's your 2 initial impressions of it? Bearing in mind this is not a sponsored video, you can say whatever you want.
It's nice enough for a 45-minute game.
Uh-huh.
You could play it with anyone. It's a kind of gateway game, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Virgin on a gateway.
I think.
What do the other cards do?
I'll come on to them in a minute.
I think possibly actually it's possibly not a gateway game, is it?
But it's not far off it.
Yeah,
It's not far
I think.
off,
It's not
but
far off it at all.
Just maybe some little complications with the cards.
It's a gateway
Yeah,
plus.
but
Yeah.
sort of the
Not for
the
your
way
first time.
the sort of the theme and the animals work makes it, I think, quite accessible
Yeah.
to
yeah.
They all work
non-gamers.
fine.
That
Yeah.
it sort of makes sense that elephants are slow,
slow,
and then they can
crocodiles-
throw you with the trunk,
Yeah.
and ants
Yeah.
in long
lines.
chains is something people know.
Mm.
So yeah, I think you could
Yeah.
teach this
I mean, the
to
designer is a bit
most
of
people.
a crazy genius. He does some crazy ideas. He
Yes.
obviously does solid Euros like Power Grid, but then he does weird and wonderful wacky games as well.
Yeah.
He's certainly very versatile and coming up with all sorts of different ideas. So yeah, clever idea, and it plays really quickly, and it's a quick teach.
Yeah.
And what we've played here is just the suggested setup from the first game.
Yeah.
So the other animals, as I said, there's 12 of them in total. So let's cover the ones that you didn't see now. We have the human, who can only move along the paths, which is what the paths are for. Okay, you can only move
I was wondering about
from
asking
one
that.
village to the next, but it's for every 3 movement points. So for every 3 movement points, it runs along one path to the next village. And it just moves between the villages. Picks you up on either an adjacent resort space or while moving, and drops you off on or adjacent to the resort space. Right? So that's the human.
Right.
The next one is the giraffe. And the giraffe can only move through plains and river. With its long neck, the giraffe can pick you up and drop you off up to 2 spaces away. It does this anywhere between its own space and 2 spaces away. Cannot pick you up and drop you off across mountains, but it can curve its neck. I guess that
I
means
see.
that. Yeah.
Curve it that way, not that way.
It cannot pick you up and drop you. The giraffe, if the giraffe lifts you across a tree space, you cannot collect your leaf. Right. So basically, it's picking up and dropping off can be from 2 spaces away.
Yeah.
Right. We have the rabbit. It can only move on grassland, and it adds 2 to movement points. So that's actually a really simple one. Yeah. The orangutan. I think that does some throwing as well.
Looks like it.
It's got strong arms. So first of all, you move any number of orangutans without them carrying you, and they can move through forest and hills. For each movement point, move any number of orangutans of your choice, space by space. Yeah, I think it's like the ants.
Like the ants, yeah.
And then second, the orangutans throw you. So after movement, for 2 points each, an orangutan picks you up and throws you up to 3 spaces. You're flying, can't throw you across mountains, and if you fly across a tree space, you don't collect your leaf. All right. Dolphin. Very, very simple. No special abilities. Ignores, so it moves through the river. So there you go.
Doesn't seem great, does it?
No, but the
Well, I
movement
don't know,
points
but-
are high.
Right, okay.
Movement points are
3
very high.
to 7, right?
Yeah.
Also, I think there's,
There's 3 there.
looking at how the board's set up, there's places where you would go a lot quicker moving through the
Moving
water
through
than
water. Yeah.
going around it.
Yeah, but then I had that and I never got to play it.
And then finally, the
Yeah.
mountain goats.
I was over here and it was over there.
Mountain
Yeah.
goats are after spending the last movement point, it cannot enter. Right, the mountain goat enters or moves through mountains for no cost.
Okay, so you could go.
But after spending its last
0.
movement point, it can't enter an adjacent mountain anymore. Yeah, so as long as it's moving.
So you could go
Yeah.
from there to there for 0.
Yeah.
Or 1 rather, because you're going in there for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's those. Now, what you're supposed to do when you play the game, the animals come in pairs. You either use the donkeys or the rabbits, but not both.
Okay.
You then use the
Okay.
unicorn or the human, but not both. Crocodiles or the dolphin, elephants or the giraffe, eagle or the mountain goats, ants or the orangutans. That's what you're supposed
that
to do.
makes sense.
But it is in here and said, actually, you could just
If
fix
you
it at
want to
random,
just do
but the
something.
game might. It doesn't say the game won't work. It just
No.
says this may create some strange or difficult games.
Yeah, because if you didn't have dolphins or crocodiles, then
Getting across the
water
water
is
would be really
it'd be
is just
the
you have to
bridges.
do the
Exactly.
yeah,
Although I assume
Elephants.
that counts as part. A human could go over the bridge.
Yeah.
yes,
As
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of the path, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. If you had humans out as well, it might be.
yeah,
an
but
issue.
you can, but like sort of, there's a bridge there and there's a bridge there. Anything
It
through
would
here.
still be an issue because you still have birds and elephants. You can get the elephants to throw you.
So the other thing, for those people who are watching on camera and want some information about the game, the boards are 2-sided. So you've actually got multiple combinations, and what you would do if you didn't want to use one of the pre-selected setups is you'd pick boards at random. Then we'd take it in turns to place, or we'd pick the animals at random, and then we'd take it in turns to place where we put them. So there's a whole setup thing of what goes where at the start. But the last time I looked on BGG, I think there were 4 other scenarios, which is basically just the.
Yeah, there's some expansion boards or something.
It's just that. No, it's just that. Well, I haven't seen any expansion boards, but maybe there is.
I thought there were
he said
expansion boards.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
because we both watched the video from Essen,
Right, okay.
and he was saying that there was an expansion which was basically 2 more boards.
Oh,
So
right.
there was 16 ways you could combine the
Okay,
boards.
I don't have those, but I'm very keen now, because I've always been playing this with new people, so I've always used this pre-selected setup. But I'm very keen to try
Be interested to try different
some of the other
animals
combinations and
things,
some
yeah.
of the other animals. But there we go. That is it for today, and that is it for the end of this week. So thank you very much to everybody who's been joining in on all of the chat sessions, or some of the chat sessions, or even if you just joined in on this one. This was Fast Sloths, whatever. I hope you found it useful. I hope it gave you some information about the game, and yeah, if you're interested, taught you a bit about it, and taught you, well, how easy it is to teach the game. The tricky bits, the eagle and the ants. When you're teaching the game, you need to spend a bit more time on them. And obviously, you saw how it played. It was 45 minutes for the actual playing of the game. And yeah, it's not bad for a 45-minute game. It's relatively simple, but then it is a little bit of a puzzle trying to work out where you want to go. With 5 people, the board does get a bit crazy, and you've really got to watch out where other people are, because if you're planning something and they're near you, they're probably going to get the, like, you stole the donkey.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with
Yeah,
a backup plan.
you messed me up with the elephant.
Right.
Yeah. You took one of my ants.
There you go. So it's all evens. But yeah, that's the end of a long week of live streaming. And as mentioned at the start, this is all down to the support of my Patreon campaign. So if you like the content that I make and you want to help support me into the new year, into making, carry on making content, then yeah, check out the Patreon campaign. And one lucky winner this month is going to win a copy of, I've lost the box, Kalis 1303 and a couple of posters. So yeah, thanks Matt, thanks John, thanks Tim. Just in time to miss it. Yeah, but you can rewind and you can catch it on there. And thank you for your help with the cartographers playthrough earlier on. And that's everything. So we're going to pack up. Thank you to you two for coming.
No problem.
Doesn't feel like we've done 4 games today.
Well, we haven't done
Right.
any. I don't know.
But
So
we
we
have.
haven't done a big game.
We haven't done a big game.
Newton was quite big.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we'd all
okay.
played it
But-
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything. Go and watch the other videos if you're interested. Like and subscribe, share, and all of that stuff that everybody tells you
But
to
even
do.
for a big game, Newton's quite short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the smaller big games.
I'm going to say goodbye now. Go and get a lie
Bye.
down. Cheers all.
Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.